the physics of this AI moment. He's with Bloomberg Intelligence and has been absolutely dead on have courage for a long tail of AI excellence. Anurag, after what we saw yesterday, I want you to frame out capital spending for 26, 27, and even 28. Is it a linear expansion? Does it accelerate into the coming years? Or is this as good as it gets?
So at least for the next 2 years, we think the numbers are going to go up. The rate of growth is going to slow down, but it's tough to call out 27 and 28 because right now we have just started to see the benefits of all these investments that, for example, Microsoft has made. So I think a lot depends on the pace of adoption and more so on the enterprise side to see what 27 and 28 looks like. But at this point, we feel very confident about 25 and 26.
So, I mean, for Microsoft, give us the 2 or 3 things that the bulls are really hanging their hat on here. Again, looks like we're going to hit $4 trillion market cap here today.
So, Paul, I mean, the simple, basics is when a company's size gets bigger, the growth rate stops or slows down. In the Microsoft's case, you could see that growth in Azure is accelerating. This is now a $75 billion business as of the end of last quarter. So, in that case, when you see growth rate in the 30s accelerating, that basically shows that the AI adoption rate is picking up. And, people just assume that this is just the beginning of the adoption curve. Right now, all we are seeing is the infrastructure spending. And that's the benefit everybody's seeing, whether it's NVIDIA or, Dell servers, et cetera. But now what we're seeing is adoption rate on the cloud side. And I think that is really what is exciting a lot of people out there.
So, Anurag, I mean, when we take a look at Microsoft here, I mean, what percentage of the cloud and AI do you feel like is their market share versus some of the competitors? Because we still have to hear from Amazon.
Yeah. So when you look at just the cloud infrastructure side, they are the second biggest player after Amazon. Amazon's, run rate is well over 100 billion. But Amazon's growing in the, let's say around the 18 to 20% range. Microsoft now is showing that they're growing, 38, 39%. That's a very big difference between the two. So just imagine a $75 billion business growing in the mid 30s. And that's because they have that direct relationship with OpenAI where they're getting the direct benefit of you and me using more ChatGPT.
Anurag, let's do a 2-part question. I'll get to Apple on the back end of this. Color out the nature of their businesses. Dan Ives is very big that Microsoft is the enterprise cloud person. What is Amazon? What is Oracle and the rest? What's the character of those cloud businesses?
I think that's probably one of the most important questions for people to think about it right now. When you look at somebody like an Oracle, they are, I would say, primarily an infrastructure, AI infrastructure player at this point, which means you want to go there, you're going to rent out the GPUs, and you are training your models. Microsoft has basically said that's the business they're not so keen on. They really want to rent out capacity for training to others, but they are really on the inference side, which is when an application is running, they want to run that application because they eventually want to grow with that application. We think that's a more high value product.
So then bring it to Apple this afternoon. Apple and Google have a search agreement. Do you just assume there's going to be an announcement that Google Gemini becomes part of the Apple family? What do you see, Anurag, as salvation for Apple's AI miss?
So Tom, as far as I'm concerned, that is the biggest overhang on the stock that nobody talks about. That 20 billion odd payment that comes from Google is very high margin business, adds really to the free cash flow and the valuation of the company. If they ever make a deal on that, I think it will be good for the company. It will be good for the stock. But one of the good things Mark Gurman has reported is Apple's ready to go out and partner with other companies to get their AI into their ecosystem. I think once they do that, that's another overhang that goes away from the stock.
Paul wants to get in here. Let me be quick. What are they waiting for?
Good call.
I think it's a little bit of they take their time in making these decisions. They never do things in haste. And I think that speaks to the way they treat their user base. They want to protect their privacy. They want to make sure things are fine for them. So again, I'm not going to get rid of my phone just because the AI is a little bit slow or I can't make some pictures. But I think it's going to come over the next 12 months.
I mean, that kind of goes to my point, Anurag. I mean, every time I hear you and other smart people like Mandeep Singh talk about AI in the context of Amazon or Microsoft, it just, the initial question is, what about Apple? So I kind of feel like, all right, they don't have to be first, but boy, they just feel like they're getting every single day farther and farther behind. I kind of feel like time is of the essence for them to announce something major.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. But at the same time, this is a company that controls probably the most important distribution system for consumers out there. I mean, people will stick to the phone no matter what. If they get it wrong, Paul, that really makes a huge difference to them. So this is why they're taking their time. We're using multiple models to figure out what's best for them.
I mean, Anurag, just to keep up with you, this guy's physics, University of Delhi, you know.
I know, that's solid.
I mean, it's amazing.
They know what they're doing.
I mean, Anurag, I did MSFT equity. Tom Secunda said, Tom, you got to do more terminal.
You got to do more terminal
Folks,
talk.
stay with me on this. 2 hands on the steering wheel. Okay, Anurag, MSFT equity, AAPL equity, HS. I did a ratio spread analysis, and Apple's failing off of Microsoft by 2 standard deviations, which you know it's ginormous. Where's the urgency in Cupertino?
Well, think about it this way. Microsoft sales last night grew at 15%. Apple's going to grow at 5%. I've been debating. I always never understood why there was always there, valuations were at parity at that point. Now we are coming to a point when the valuation shows the growth potential of Microsoft. Imagine a company this size growing at 15%. I mean, that's pretty big. Apple, 6-7% max at the best at this point. If they come up with a new iPhone 17, maybe it goes to 7 or 8. But that's where it ends, frankly. It doesn't go in double digits. Under no circumstances can I see Apple growing in double digits.
Anurag, 30 seconds. Is Elon in this discussion?
Yes, but the question I always wonder whether it's Elon or Meta is how are they going to monetize their large language models? Now, this is where Microsoft really has the biggest distribution army in the enterprise world. So they will stick their AI products across every enterprise out there, even if it's not the best. I do not know how the others are going to monetize that.
Is this great, Mark Lehman?
I know.
Back to back with Anurag Rana.
Yep.
Mandeep's in the on deck circle.
Yeah, he is. He's on the subway. He's coming
just
in.
Is that how he rolls?
Yes. Yeah. He's coming in.
Okay, very good. Anurag, thank you so much. Anurag Rana, and there.